Alright, I'm back. Fresh haircut, fresh garden update video. Here we go. Yep, the marigolds, we'll start here. The marigolds are starting to bloom now. We got one there. We got a couple over here. Yeah, it'll be nice when they really start going. Fill it up, make the porch look a little nicer. Let's zoom back out. Alright, lavender. I may make some lavender lemonade today. Sorry guys, the bumblebees love it. They're here all the time. But as you see, it's like in full bloom now. So I'll harvest these today and make some lavender lemonade, possibly. And a second little flush out of the roses. You know, you get that one big spring flush and then the rest of the summer kind of, is sporadic. Alright. Strawberries are really, I have a feeling it's going to happen because I'm so afraid to cut them back and kill them. I know after June bearing, you're supposed to it's called renovation. You basically mow them down to the ground, down to the crown, and then kind of start fresh. But I'm always so afraid to do that. So I don't know. We'll see. The bachelor's button's kind of dying off here a little early. I swear they made it a little later last year, but I will come out here. Look like these. Are the seeds still in here? No, it doesn't look like they came out. But I will probably chop these down soon. And, what is that kind of bug? Look at that. What is that? Yeah. Because what I do is I chop them down and lay them up right on top of where they're growing. And then they self-seed that way. Just helping them self-seed. Potatoes. This first one is the Butte. And this one is the Elba, the second one. And this one is the Sarpomira. I don't know what the last one is, but these ones are still very healthy looking. Very healthy. Well, this last one has a little bit of blight. It looks like an early blight. But for the most part, they're carrying on. I mean, I wouldn't expect to harvest these guys until at least late August, if not into September, but you never know depending on the weather. The cone flower, the echinacea, looking very, very nice. Coming in, it's a little crowded. Probably would do better if the salvias and the peonies were in here. It's kind of in a tight spot. I cannot see with the glare here at all, so I don't know what you're seeing. But yeah, and there's a random volunteer over there that just came up this year, and it is blooming over the back there. That is totally separate from the main plant. The tea plant actually looks like it's starting to get a little new growth on there. So I don't know if it's just slow to get going, but it is starting to do something. So I'll have to add some mulch in there, maybe give it a little fertilizer, and maybe it does need more sun. I didn't think it liked full sun, but maybe it wants more than what it's getting. The triple crown in a pot is doing. Yeah, this is probably a lot bigger than last time. But you see, it's got a cane coming out this way. It's got one coming out this way. It's got one coming out this way, and one coming out this way. And you see how it's semi-erect. You see, it's not totally trailing, but it kind of looks like it's trailing to me. I don't can imagine what a trailing variety would be. But I did prune it back once. I did tip prune the edges here, so we'll see what happens with that. The bush early girl tomato. Can I zoom in? Oh, can I see it? Oh, yeah, there it is. There's a fruit starting to form right there. Might be the only one on there so far, but you see there's 1, 2, 3. There's like 4 fruit clusters, so should get a decent harvest from that. Alright, this I have to do today. This is the mulch patch of sunchokes. I just mowed these to the ground, maybe about 4 or 5 inches to the ground. Mulch with all the biomass, and then it grows back a month later, and I can do it again. The side potato patch, Still looking pretty good. The glare is much better here. I can actually see what I'm filming. Yeah, I mean, flops over, that's what I normally do. Every year I say I'm going to try to set up some kind of trellis system to keep them upright, but just doesn't seem worth all the effort. So yeah, still looking pretty healthy here. A little bit of blight in there, a little bit of dieback. It could be one of the more earlier maturing varieties, like the rose gold maybe, because I only kept track of a couple of them. But yeah, looking pretty good. Still pretty full. There's like, I think there's 8 plants there, maybe 10. I don't know. All right. There we go. Yes, it is. Here's some spare basil plants. I don't know what I'm going to do with. And there's one more. There's two more of the Gaillardia, which kind of looks like a weed. It's not a very pretty plant. But yeah, I did tip prune these basil. This is a lemon drop, and this is also a lemon drop. And my Italian Red of Florence torpedo type onions, not just a regular standard bunching onion, which I didn't realize it. I just thought they were. I didn't do my research thorough enough. I just thought it was just a bunching onion that had a red base, which I thought would be cute, pretty. But it should, given enough time and proper conditions, it will form a small, slender, like oblong bulb. So that's what I'm shooting for. So yeah, and this window box is only about 4 inches deep, so that may not be enough. So I'm not sure what I'll get from that, but it's worth a shot. This is a bigger pot. There's 4 in this one. I think this is a 12-inch pot, maybe. Oops, yeah. So there's 4 in there. I would imagine that would be. I staked them up kind of a little bit after I first planted them. Looks like the cable ties have fallen, so I don't know how much they're holding them up, but that was just until they, recover from their transplant shock. The triple crown in the ground. I did prune this. It started growing into the fence, and then I did tip prune that, and you see it's starting to form some laterals. There's one there. That's the original cane, but that's a lateral coming off this one. That's a lateral coming off that one. There's a weed in here. I gotta go out here and do that one of these days. The Detroit Supreme beets. Like I said, not really a summer crop, but I force it. And I mean, I did get some last year going over the summer, but I will try more in the fall. So yeah, I do have to come out here and water a little bit because it is going to be 93 today. And the beets will especially need to stay watered. The other second triple crown also needs some weeding down there. I did tip prune this, and you see it's sending out the laterals all along down there. Like here's one right here, here's one right here, because it's actually going over here was the original plant. That's a lateral from this plant, because this plant is actually coming this way towards that one. This one, here's another, the Italian Red of Florence, the onions. I did want to point this out. We had a thunderstorm a couple of days ago, heavy rain, and this cane from this plant dropped down. I may cut this off, maybe try rooting them, and get some, I don't know. I don't know what I would do with them. Maybe we'll keep them in the big tomato pots over there. But try to pot them up in something now, like my coffee cans that I have. My old coffee containers, plastic coffee containers, and then maybe try to start some cuttings of the Primark Freedom here. And then once the tomatoes are done, put them in there for the winter. Transplant those for the winter. So in like September or something, when the tomatoes are done, hopefully I have enough time to put them into those pots. I'll show you those in a minute, so you know what I'm talking about. Well, you see the crazy growth on these. Yeah, I did get enough to make some jam. I made a pint and a half of jam, and I think the rest of the summer, I think I'm just going to kind of fresh eating. This one here, it's not really ready. It's got a little bit of red on it. Yeah. So that's that. This is the... No, wait a minute. Where is it? Oh yeah, this one. This is the volunteer cane, which I didn't really get. Now, I did tip prune it about here, so it did send out two... Yeah, it did send out two laterals. You know, it continued on that way, but then it also is going up this way. And then this one, little minor little thing here. But... yeah. The tomato, the rose, see that there in the back. I know the back row was rose gold. They've flopped over, so I don't know what the status of those is, because it's kind of blended with this grow bag, which it looks like I need to water, and then this one. But I also have a new, I also have a, right, let's see if I can get it. It's below, right here. There is a fruit starting there. So yeah, it's starting to fruit. And this has, like I said, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it looks like about 4 fruit clusters again. So each one is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 or so. They're not supposed to be huge, but they're not a grape tomato. It's like a small slicer. So that'll be fun. Here's a, this is a sweet basil. I am zoomed in here. That's a sweet basil. I've harvested 2 of the potatoes from this bed, and they are really flopping over. After that storm, that last storm we had, as you see, they're coming into my walking path. Pretty bad. But yeah, this is a bed over here. I think it has 6, and this one has like 12 plants, something like that. But there's still, as you see, there's still 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. At least 7 plants left in this bed, and none of these are harvested, so there's at least 6 here. So it would be cool to do a video, but they're still healthy. I'm going to let them grow. I want as big as possible. So I'm not going to be harvesting these guys for a little while yet. I move over this way. The oregano out of control, but I figured let it go to seed for the pollinators. They'll help. The rest, they'll help the tomatoes and such. There's another sweet basil that's been tip pruned, so to bushify. Same with this one. These are my candy onions. Now I don't know what's going to come of these, because as you see at the base, this is the plant that got tipped over and fell over. So it's looking a little rough for wear because of that. But you see the base. I mean, these guys they're huge. That's 2 inches at least at the base on some of them. You see again, see that. But you see the foliage is 3 foot tall, 2-3 foot tall. So another sweet basil. Here's some more. This window box is bigger. It should be deep enough. That's 6 to 8 inches. So these are I finally was able to separate these into single plants. They have anywhere from 3 to 4 inch spacing, so I'm expecting or hoping to get full size, like a full size bulb from those for their variety, for their tiny Florence. This is I put 3 in here. There's 2 lemon drop and 1 sweet basil in there just for kicks. These are the pots that I would like to, if I do get around and I'm not too lazy to try to get some cuttings from that cane that fell over, that is basically broken off, but it must be still attached enough because the foliage is still alive. But I can't obviously leave that like that, so I will probably cut that off, try to get 3 or 4 cuttings from it, and then root those in old coffee containers. This is what I was talking about. It's a shame they're a little smaller than they used to be. I wish they were a little deeper, like this one. The classic roast is a little bit deeper, so hopefully I could use those. Here's another Gaillardia, which is just about budding out. It's getting ready to bloom soon. But you see the tomatoes on here doing very well. Same thing on here. There's 2 plants. See, there's 1 pot there and another pot there. And then this orange pot is also Bush Early Girl. doing very well. I see again at least 3 or 4 fruit clusters on there. This is the other candy onion. And you see the base again. You see how thick that is. Now, they have not started bulbing, but I mean, some places I read said that you may get flatter, elongated bulbs if they're crowded, but I would think it would at least try to start bulbing, unless it gets too compressed, but we'll see. We'll see. I would imagine the next 2-3 weeks they should start to bulb. And here's some more of the onions. The red onions, the Italian red. I have a bunch of them, and there you see I have a bunch of them in here, along with some more basil, more onions I gotta transplant or do something with. As you see, this is like my seed stock here. These potatoes are really starting to get decimated by earwigs that come at night. I've tried neem oil, I've tried setting out oil and soy sauce traps, but nothing seems to work very well. They're getting kind of chewed up by, especially back there. I don't know if I can zoom in, but they are really getting chewed up. Skeletonized, as they say. Especially that one from that plant and that one behind it. But still, there's still a lot of foliage there, so I imagine they're still growing. And then there's another pot of cane onions here. I think there's 3 in there, and then this one has 4, which I still don't see any bulbing yet. But like I said, they are huge. They're huge at the base, just no bulbing yet. Sunchokes. Again, just randomly, here's another one. Just some random dieback. I don't know if that's a watering issue. Just all of a sudden the plant will just die. I don't know. I haven't been watering them much, but I was trying to let them go. Maybe that's what it is. So I don't know what kind of harvest I'll get from the sunchokes, but I realize that we don't really eat a whole lot. So as long as we get, maybe a bag or 2, that's all we would need. A gallon's a bag or 2. That's all we would need. Just process them, freeze them. Yeah. I don't know what else there is. Just try to focus on getting a view, because I tend to talk and not pay attention where I'm filming. But yeah. This pot hopefully will be good, because it's deep enough, they have spacing. And these ones, I mean, they look right. I just worry, are they going to have enough time to mature? And I don't know. See, I'm still not an expert with onions. Like, do they need to be a certain point when, like, do they just get triggered to bulb by the stages of growth, or do you have to have them at a certain point? And, like, is it triggered by, like, the solstice and day length? Like, what if you plant them too late? Like, will they, you know what I mean? I don't know. Because I did start them a little later. I didn't start them, I probably didn't start them until April, end of April. I don't know. So, yeah, we'll see. I mean, I got pretty good growth here on stuff. The next video, imagine now that this heat wave, we are supposed to get up to 105 on Wednesday and Thursday, or Thursday and Friday. I don't know. It's gonna be over 100 for at least 3 days in a row. So I definitely have to get out and water. I'll be getting out to water every day probably. After I finish this video, I'll be doing some more watering. Again, these are the potatoes, oregano, another side view of the tomatoes, bush early girl. They're probably 2 foot tall. That should be about their maximum height. They shouldn't get too much taller. 2 or 3 foot is what they are supposed to max out at. So I don't want them to get. That's the whole idea why I got bush early girl. I did not want them getting tall and super crazy, because they get a little wild and hard to control. Shade other plants. You see they're already starting to shade out the onion pot here. I do have to move some of these, because I want to move these onions, give them a little more sun, get the basil a little less sun. I want to rearrange this area. So I'm going to stop the video now. And yeah, that's how things are coming along. All right, see ya.